Okay, so welcome to our second session of the free live webinar series, and this is the second one in a series of. There we go. And this is Jacob on the screen, and myself, Ron. Nice to see you, everyone. So this is our second, as I said, in a series of five free live webinars, which give an introduction to the German language. And people who are planning to take the course are invited. Those who have taken the course before, although it would be quite a very easy review for them, and then other people that are interested in the language and would be attending. So we're recording this, and there's someone else has just come aboard. I see Sally has come on board. Hello, Sally. How are you?
Hi,
Good.
how are you guys?
Fine. Fine.
Hi,
Great to see you.
got it.
We're just starting up when you came on board here. Let's see. Just one second here. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so tonight we're going to cover. So the first time, for the first session, as you know, we reviewed some different materials. We basically looked at chapter one, um, looked at thought about looked at the location of German within the Indo-European language family. Looked at some cognates, looked at some of the vocabulary, and especially at the gender of the nouns. Took a look at that a bit, and then we did some reading from Sutter's Mill, uh, and and then we did a little bit of a conversation practice. Hope you enjoyed that last time. So tonight we're going to look at the nominative and accusative and go into the inflection principle of the language, just looking at those two cases, the nominative and the accusative. And then we're going to take a look at the present tense, the infinitive, some vocabulary, again, looking at words that are similar to English. And then we'll read a little passage together on J.S. Bach, which is in the second chapter, and we'll sort of work through that together, so no problem. And then we'll do a little bit of Sutter's Mill, pick up from where we left off last time, and then conclude with a bit of some conversational German from that dialogue that we had. So I'm going to turn on the screen, and we're going to go first of all to the nominative and accusative. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. Can you see that on the screen, both of you?
Yeah.
And you can see it also, Sally?
I have to get better glasses.
Okay,
Oh,
so this is when I talk about German, I talk about the 5 secrets of learning German, and I'm going to talk when I do the Facebook ads, I talk about the 5.5 secrets of learning German. And so people always say, well, what's the half? And the half is actually learning words in word families. So we're going to explore that a little bit about how you learn words together in their families of words. But first of all, let's take a look at the case. This is chapter 2 in the textbook that we use always. And this introduces the nominative and the accusative. So the nominative is the subject of the sentence. And so you have, if you remember from last time, there are 3 genders in German. Let me see if I can make this clearer here. See what color they're giving us. Okay, that's good. So can you see the mark on the screen, Jacob?
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Okay, and Sally too. Okay, can you see the screen now, Sally?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So
Play glasses later.
all right. So the definite article for the masculine is der, feminine is die, and the neuter is das.
Mm-hmm.
And for all plurals, when you have like many things, die is always the definite article. When you come down to the accusative, which means the direct object, which we'll see many examples of coming up here, you'll see there's a change of the definite article from der to den. That's how you pronounce that, D-E-N, den. But for the feminine, it's the same form, D and das and das. And when I was, before going to Germany and realizing that I only had 4 weeks to go before having to pass a language entrance exam to study at Freiburg University in southwestern corner of Germany near the Black Forest, I was listening to an audio recording explaining the declension of the definite article, and I just could not make any sense of it. So it's really important to get down the language, the inflection and the case system. That's really the core and the foundation of the whole language. In fact, as we will see. So I, I tried to take the exam when I got to Germany. I flunked it, actually, and then I had actually 3.5 months right before the beginning of the next semester to pass the exam, or I couldn't continue studying there. You can't fail it twice. So I did nothing else but read and write and speak German the whole time, and I passed the exam, and then I spent another 5 years in Germany studying and reading and speaking only German for that time. It was really a great experience. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so if you come down here to the nominative, and the nominative is not just a fancy word for the subject, these sentences here, let's read some of these. Der Mann ist intelligent. Just repeat after me.
Der man is
Intelligent.
Intelligent. Die Frau arbeitet viel.
Die Frau arbeitet viel.
Die Frau arbeitet viel.
So der Mann here is the subject, and it's der because this is a masculine noun. And this is just, as you can see, the translation. Here's a feminine noun, so it's die always. And then here, das Kind singt und tanzt. Let's repeat that.
Das Kind singt und tanzt.
So this is a neuter noun. We have the word kindergarten that comes from this. But very interestingly, we can figure out almost every word here because tanzen is very close to dance, and singing is obviously 100% like singing. So that means that our words singing and dancing are words that come directly from the German side as opposed to the Latin-based side. So whenever you see a word that's similar, you say, aha, that word has come from the German side into English. Okay, so let's see. Now here you have a phenomenon called the predicate nouns. And they are just connected with the verb to be. So let's read this first one. Der Mann ist der Reporter. Everybody?
Der Mann ist der Reporter.
Good. So think of this ist as an equal sign, because you could equally say der Reporter ist der Mann, the reporter is the man, or the reverse. Also, the word word with wird, to become, does also not take a direct object. So it's die Frau wird die erste Präsidentin, and this is what we call a predicate nominative. And just like this is predicate nominative, no transferring of action. And also the words with to be called also takes a predicate noun. Der erste Präsident heißt der Vater des Landes. And here, let's read this one, the last one. Die Kinder sind die Zukunft, everybody.
Die Kinder sind die Zukunft.
So this is just part of like the and of course we haven't learned the verbs yet, but this is means they are. So the children are the future. Again, no two nominatives connected with an equal sign is the best way to think of that. Okay, now when you come to the accusative, and remember we saw that the definite article for the just 1 second here, for the okay, good. The definite article for the feminine nouns remains the same. So this would be, let's read this together. Der Student studiert die Geschichte von Berlin. Everybody?
Der Student studiert die Geschichte von Berlin.
Now, the way that we always will analyze these, and this is a really good tip to begin to think about, is we always look for the verb first, and we put a box around the verb. And we do this through the whole class, because even though it seems simple at first, sentences get more and more complicated, and you really have to understand what the verb is first and how you would translate it. So he or she studies, it happens to be a third person singular. Again, I'm just going over some of these things which we're going to do much more thoroughly and from the ground up in the course itself. So here's your subject, which we underline. Now, this, Sally, die Geschichte, is this accusative or is it nominative, do you think? It's actually an accusative. So we indicate accusative with a circle, and we indicate that this transfers the action to study something, like the student studies the history, studies the painting, whatever, and we indicate that this transfers its action to the direct object, which is called the accusative in German. And but this remains the same because the definite article for the nominative and the accusative is the same. I'm sure you'll be baffled by some of this, but when you get used to it, it'll become just like second nature. Okay. Beschreiben, to describe, can also take a direct object. So let's read this one together. Das Buch beschreibt die Situation. Everybody?
Das
Das
Buch
Buch beschreibt die Situation.
Good. Let's stop right there. So where's the verb, Sally?
Beschreibt.
Beschreibt. Yeah, right here. And where's the subject, Sally?
Das Buch.
Das Buch. Good. Now, is this a direct object here? Die Situation, do you think? Does it take the action?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
good. Yeah. So this transfers the action. The verb transfers its action to a direct object, die Situation. Okay. Now there's no change in the definite article because, as we remember, in the feminine, the definite article stays the same as you move from even the nominative to the accusative case. Now here's a new one here. Let's read this one. Das Buch beschreibt auch den Mauerfall. Everybody?
Das Buch beschreibt auch den Mauerfall.
Okay, Jacob, where's the verb there?
Beschreibt.
Beschreibt. Good. And where's it? We haven't gotten into pronunciation, but we'll do that thoroughly in the class. Where's the subject?
Das Buch.
Das Buch. And now, where's the direct object?
Den Mauerfall.
Yeah, and they're putting all the direct objects in bold so you can identify them easily. Den Mauerfall. Now, what has happened to this definite article? In the nominative, when it's a subject, if you say the fall of the wall, it's der Mauerfall, right? So what has happened here, Jacob?
It becomes the accusative form of it.
It becomes the accusative form of the definite article for the masculine singular. So I would still draw an arrow because it transfers its action. It's a transitive verb. Transitive means it transfers its action. An intransitive verb is like to be or to be called, which cannot take a direct object. That's the difference. Okay, so we've noticed that this is a big difference here because it's in the nominative it's der Mauerfall, but if it's in the accusative it's den. Let's take a look at this one down here, and we'll go with Jacob also. So let's read this together. Den Mauerfall. Let me scoot down a bit so you can see the translation. Let's see here. Okay, so you can see the translation here. Did somebody else come in?
Nope.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so let's read this together. Den Mauerfall versteht der Student. Everybody?
Den
Mauerfall versteht der Student.
Aber die Situation versteht nicht.
Aber die Situation versteht nicht.
Now, in English, we love to hear the subject in the very beginning, the first word of the sentence. But German, because it has an inflected language, can move things around for matters of stylistic nuance or emphasis. So let's go back to Sally. Where's the verb in this sentence up to the comma?
Versteht.
Versteht. Yeah.
Versteht.
Good. And where's the subject?
Der Student.
Good, der Student. Good. Now, where's the direct object?
Den Mauerfall.
Good, good. Nicely pronounced. Den Mauerfall. So, so here, sorry. So here you have, this is a transitive verb, but it transfers its action to this noun here, which becomes the accusative. So that's why it's very important to always look for the verb first, the subject second, and then the direct object third. Then you have the core sentence. Okay, let's see. Let's just do this last one. Der Student fragt den Lehrer. Everybody?
Der Student fragt den Lehrer.
Let's go to Jacob. Where's the verb?
Verb is fragt.
Good. Yeah, great. Okay, we'll put a box around that. And where's your subject?
Subject is der Student.
Der Student. And what about direct object?
Den Lehrer.
Den Lehrer. Yeah, den Lehrer. It's hard word to pronounce. Okay, hold on.
Lehrer.
Get room some here. Okay, so here's your direct object, and then we indicate that, symbolize that with a circle around there. Okay, so now what is the what would be the nominative form, Jacob, of this word with the definite article?
That would be der Lehrer.
Der Lehrer, yeah. In the accusative, it's den Lehrer, just so that you can see that. Okay, great. All right. Let's see. What else I want to? So just looking at, we're sort of glancing through the grammar just to get you basically familiar with it a little bit. Because Sally, because I know that Jacob has mentioned that he's going to miss the first class, so he has the textbook, and this will be a nice introduction to get him into the grammar a bit. But this is basically just to get an overview of the grammar, get some feel of how German works. So infinitive, which means as opposed to a conjugated verb, which is limited. So infinitive means it's not limited by a person, like first, second, or third person, I, you, or he, or she, etc. They always end with en. Infinitives in German do. Like, let's read some of these. Gehen, kennen.
Gehen, kennen.
Sagen.
Sagen.
Liefern.
Liefern.
Okay, great. And let's take a look at some of these words. Sally, tell me what you think some of these words mean. How about kosten? What is it? What do you think?
Cost.
Yeah, to cost something. How about helfen?
Help.
To help. Yeah, always say to because it's infinitive. How about schwimmen?
To swim.
How about singen?
Where?
Right here.
Oh, to sing.
To sing. How about geben? A little bit harder.
To go.
Well, actually, to give.
Give.
Yeah.
How about stinken?
To stink.
How about trinken?
To drink.
Good. So when we come to verbs that have these endings I-E-R-E-N, these are almost 100% like English. So let me ask Jacob for some of these. How about quantifizieren? What would that mean?
To quantify?
Yeah.
To quantify?
Good. A scientist knows this well. A mathematician knows this well. How about komplizieren?
To complicate?
Good. How about evacuieren?
To evacuate?
How about demonstrieren?
To demonstrate?
How about analysieren?
To analyze?
Let's read some of these together because the I-E-R-E-N are sort of fun to read. Let's read these together. Analysieren, everybody.
Analysieren.
Dominieren.
Dominieren.
Fotografieren.
Fotografieren.
Trainieren.
Traineering.
Okay, great. Just a little bit look at passing at the present tense of the regular verbs. So here you have the infinitive en, and we've just and what you do to form the conjugation. And you know the word conjugation has a special interesting origin. It's the yoga is someone who actually attaches himself to a master, to a guru. So yogan, yoke actually means to just like with a cow or something, you would yoke up a team of horses. So, but the conjugation is con means with, so to yoke with is just this conjugation is yoking the endings onto the stem of the verb, which is funny, interesting meaning of that word. So sagen, we take the en off, and then we just add e, st, t for the first, second, and third person singular, and then en, t, and then en for the plural. And in German, and as in French, and not so much in English, you have a big difference, which we'll talk about much later, about speaking in the formal way with people that you don't know, or someone you need to show reverence for, or someone who's even your age that you haven't met before, or someone older. You would use always Z. But if you have somebody in your family, or a younger child, or somebody whom you know, then you use du. This is the singular and this is the plural. Du sagst, you, someone I know well. Let's read these together. Ich sage, du sagst. Everybody.
Ich sage,
Die
du
Sagen,
sagst,
du sagst,
Sie sagt.
sie sagt.
du sagst.
This means that the third person singular has these three different pronouns, obviously he, she, and it. Wir sagen,
Wir
Ihr
sagen,
ihr sagt,
Ihr
ihr
sagt,
sagt,
sie sagen.
sie
sie
sagen.
sagen.
Okay, so these will become second nature, and just remember you can always identify the endings just by clipping off the last part of the verb, and then you add an en, you'll have the infinitive. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see what else I want to look at here. Okay. Let's see. Then they introduce the verb haben, and this is actually our word to have comes directly from the German, as you can see. Ich habe, du hast, and you'll see the similar endings here. Let's just read the plural together. Wir haben, ihr habt.
Wir
Ihr
haben,
haben, ihr habt,
Sie haben.
sie
sie
haben.
haben.
Jacob, how would you distinguish the difference between ihr habt and Sie haben? This is you all, you plural, and this is so this is informal with,
Informal.
and you could say y'all if you want to.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, people that a plural group of people that you are in an informal relationship with, as opposed to Sie, which means you talk to a professor or someone like that. Sie haben etwas. Okay. Let's see. I'd like to just as far as the words go, if you can see the screen, let's take a look at some of the words that we think are similar to English. And remember, there are every third word in English comes from the German side, and 2/3 of the words that we use come from the Latin-based side. So, Sally, how about these first four words? Which ones do you think are similar to English?
All,
Mhm.
alt, the handling.
Yeah, this might be because to handle or behandeln, sometimes German will add a be there. We have actually that habit in English with some words as well. How about from here, Blut down to Familia, Sally? Which ones look similar to you?
Blut is like blood.
Mhm.
Buch is like book. Denken is like think.
Yep.
Europash is like European, and family is like family.
Good. So all five basically. And remember our habit of always reading the definite article. So let's just read this group of 5 together. Das Blut, everybody.
Das Blut,
Das Blut,
Das Buch.
das
das
Buch,
Buch,
Denken.
Denken,
Denken,
Europäisch.
Europäisch,
The EU is pronounced like an OI, like boy.
Oi,
Europäisch. And then
Europäisch.
good. And these 2 little dots over the A make you pronounce this syllable separately from the following one, Europäisch. You don't see that very often. And then Familia. Okay, let's see. All right. How about let's see. How about from here? Oh, just one second. How about from here? Kalt down to the bottom. Jacob, let's read some of these out loud first of all. And when we come to these nouns, let's always read the definite article with them. Let's read this together. Kalt, everybody.
Kalt,
Kennen.
kennen,
Das Kind.
das Kind,
Die Kindheit.
Die
Kindheit,
Kinder,
Leben.
Leben,
Das Leben.
das
das
Leben.
Leben.
Do you remember, Jacob, why this is like a feminine noun? I'm just giving you a little clue here that we learned in the first chapter.
Mm.
So every noun that ends with H-E-I-T, height, is
EIT,
100%
yeah, height.
feminine. Yeah, I mean, um,
Yeah.
these sessions don't require you to be learning anything in between the sessions, or not to prepare them. So I shouldn't be asking that. But I just to remember that first chapter.
Yeah.
That's really important to go back to and learn those endings. So when you're preparing the first chapter on your own, you should make cards with the endings that are typical, that indicate the different gender of nouns, and work on those quite a bit. That's really helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. We're with let's go with Jacob. So which words here look like English? Kalt.
Yeah, I think cold definitely looks like cold.
Okay, go on.
And can definitely look like to know.
Okay.
And kind and kindheit is it like kindergarten is like child.
Yeah.
And Leben like to live, and das Leben, that's like, I mean, it's like a life, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
notice that all nouns are always capitalized. So you have die Kindheit, das Kind,
Yeah.
and so this is the infinitive. And to distinguish that from a noun would be we have a capital letter, even when it comes in the middle of a sentence. So it's always that's a big help. Let's see here. Okay, well, let's take a look at this little fun passage of Bach. Are some of you music aficionados?
Yes, I love Bach. I play the flute. I play a lot of Bach.
Oh, do you? What instrument do you play?
Flute.
Oh, really? Wow. So like silver flute or
Yes, I have a silver flute and a piccolo. I had a wooden flute that I was using from someone for a long time, but he performs with it, so I had to give it back.
Oh. What kind of wooden flute? A traverse flute?
Yeah, it's like a silver flute, but it's wooden with silver keys.
Really?
And it's an early flute. They're reproductions, but they're used specifically to play Bach.
Wow. Wow, that's great. That's great. So have you been to Leipzig in Germany, where the Bach's?
I didn't go to Leipzig, no.
So
I spent a lot of time in Stuttgart, honestly. That's where I was.
how long did you spend there?
I was in Germany for months. I spent a lot of time in Stuttgart. I went to Hamburg. I went to Freiburg briefly. And then just Munich, I just sort of went through.
Great. Yeah. Well, in Leipzig, as you probably know, there's the Thomaskirche, where he performed his great oratorios, and there's a
Right.
there's an archive museum just across from that great. It's the size of a cathedral basically, but it's it's a um, uh, but across from that large church is a is the archive museum, and it shows you can go through it, and it takes you on every step of his career, and there are different examples of his music that you can press a certain button and listen to a composition that he wrote at that time. So
Yeah.
it's really an amazing experience. But let's see. Let's take a look at this first couple paragraphs, and I'll give you some vocab that you wouldn't know right off the bat. Um, but let's just read some a little bit in the beginning. And this means Johann Sebastian Bach, his music, and his family, obviously. Let's read together. Johann Sebastian Bach is besonders bekannt, everybody,
Johann Sebastian
Johann
Bach
Sebastian
ist
Bach ist anders bekannt
für seine Fugen und Kantaten.
für seine
für
Fugen
seine
und
Filme
Kantaten.
und Kantaten.
Der Musiker und Komponist
Der
Der
Musiker
Musiker
und
und
Komponist
Komponist
wurde, no, we're going to do this. The way they say these dates is 1605 and 80. So 1600, try that.
1685.
85
Great, great. In Eisenach in Thüringen geboren.
in
In Eisenach in
Eisenach
Thüringen geboren.
geboren.
Sein Vater Ambrosius Bach
Sein
Sein
Vater Ambrosius Bach
war
Ambrosius
Hofmusiker.
Bach
war
war
Musiker.
And this means Hof means the court, so he was a court musician. Ambrosius Bach und seine Frau Elisabeth
Ambrosius Bach und seine Frau Elisabeth
hatten eine große Familie.
hatten eine große Familie.
Johann war das 8. Kind.
Johann war das 8. Kind.
Okay, so let's see, Jacob. Let's take a look at this first sentence. This means especially. I'm just going to give you some vocab that you wouldn't know right off the bat. And this means known. And what does fugen mean? Anybody?
Fugue.
Fugues and then Kantaten or
Cantatas.
cantatas. Yeah. So you want to just do that first sentence, Jacob?
I think Johann Sebastian Bach is known
Is especially known for
especially known for for something.
for his fugues.
for-
Oh, I'm sorry. This
but-
is a different. We didn't cover this. For his fugues and
His fugues and
cantatas.
cantatas. I don't understand what that means.
Oh, a cantata is actually comes from I'm sure it comes from Latin, but it just means like a choral work that has includes some arias, some solos by say soprano or bass
Oh.
or alto or whatever.
Vocal music.
There it is,
Vocal
vocal
music.
music. Thank you very
Music
much.
term. I no knowledge from music.
Okay.
Fugues are small groups of usually wind instruments and sometimes string instruments.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. So let's do. You want to try the next one, Sally? And this means wurde geboren means was born, and this just says where he was born. You want to do that one? This is the musician.
The musician and the composer.
Yeah, yeah.
Was born 1685 in Eisenach.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Town in Thüringen.
Yeah, Thüringen. Yeah, this is the region actually in southeastern former Germany. It's part of the East Germany when they was divided, and Eisenach is actually the place where Martin Buber was born, and so Bach was actually born there, and he was also baptized there at one. There's a I went to the church there. There was a performance 2 summers ago that I attended. It was really amazing. With
Ah,
with a Bach choir coming from northern Germany, actually singing, doing singing a cantata in the church where he was baptized. It was quite a interesting
ah.
thing.
Wow.
Anyway, let's go on. Sein Vater Ambrosius Bach.
Around quick question. What is the geboren? Geboren?
Oh, geboren means it's a past participle to mean to be born.
Oh, to be born.
So
Okay.
wurde,
But
and of course we haven't had any of this yet, but
oh,
this means he
oh,
was
very. Yeah.
born.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, it's two parts of
The
same
the verb, yeah.
question.
So sometimes, very often, when we get into more complicated German, you'll have verb complexes that, just like in English, we have he has taken a walk to the shore. So he has
I see.
taken is the
Right.
auxiliary, and then you have the past participle. So same thing
Mm.
with here, and this happens to mean he was born. Okay, let's see. Now this means hatten, which means they had. So you want to try this, Jacob? This means his father, and
Yeah.
his father had pretty good food, don't you think? Ambrosius. His name was Ambrosius.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was well fed from heaven, I guess. You want to try that one, Jacob?
Uh-huh. Yeah. You want to translate the his father?
Yeah, from here. His father.
Yeah, his father, Ambroise Bach,
Yeah, and
was half musician,
this is a court musician.
court musician, and Ambroise Bach and his son, his daughter Elizabeth.
His wife Elizabeth.
I'm sorry, his wife. His
That's
wife
okay, no
Elizabeth.
problem.
He had
And this means a large.
a large family,
Mhm.
a large family, right? And Johann was the oldest
This is the eighth.
child.
This is the eighth.
Oh, the eighth. Okay, the eighth child.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
I'm just going through this. I know you don't have any of the background of the vocabulary, but it's kind of fun,
Yeah.
as I give you vocabulary, that just actually to see that you can make sense of these sentences.
Yeah.
That's quite
Yeah.
fun. Let's see. Before we
Yeah.
go on, I'd just like to pick up one sentence here. Let me just scoot down a little bit. Okay. The one I want to pick up is right here, and I want to ask you if you feel that this would be a good curriculum, Sally. Okay, let's read from here down together. Johann Sebastian, everybody,
Johann Sebastian
besucht 5 Jahre
besucht 5 Jahre
die Lateinschule
die Lateinschule
und lernt alte Sprachen,
und lernte alte Sprachen,
Logik, Mathematik,
Logik, Mathematik,
Rhetorik, Theologie und Musik.
Rhetorik, Theologie und Musik.
Good. Okay, so this means besuchen means to attend. Remember, this is a third person singular with a T final there. But you could say if he's visiting the school, the term in context would be he is attending. Everything here is in the present tense. So Johann Sebastian attends, and this means for 5 years. And then lernt would be what, Sally?
Learned.
And he learns.
Studied.
Everything is present tense and learns
Learn.
the old languages, or you could say the ancient languages, i.e. the classical languages, and then logic, mathematics, rhetoric, theology, music. You want to do that whole sentence together? Try that one, Sally.
What? Say it or say what it says?
Just translate.
Johann Sebastian studied attended for 5 years. He attended the Latin school and learned the old languages, logic, mathematics, rhetoric, theology, and music.
Great, great. Again, these are all in present tense, sort of historical present. Now, what do you think about that curriculum, Sally?
I think that's a lot of work. Well, it depends on how many old languages he's doing.
I would guess
Of
most,
course, theology infiltrates anything
yeah. I
in
would
that time period.
I would guess 100% Latin and probably some Greek. I would guess with the ancient languages. And but this is I mean he grew up in a time when people would normally have a classical education like this. So this is far from what U.S. schools teach or offer to students, except some private schools or especially Latin schools or something. But I think it's quite amazing to think about the background of some person. Each of us has our own special background, and
Mhm.
and and when you learn a language, you discover something. You would discover a whole landscape that you haven't seen before. So that's why I'm always very excited about teaching a language and working with people who are interested in discovering and expanding their knowledge. Because actually, with so many words from German that come into English, our English vocabulary is really enriched because we see uh, the foundational words in the earlier history of the English language in the German form, um, and then also, as you saw, uh, because of the inflected nature of the language, you can change the order of the words quite a bit. So it really uh, gets you to write more creatively, because we're very sort of trained to read subject verb direct object or so, but Latin but Greek I'm sorry, like Greek and Latin being an inflected language, German can do an awful lot more stylistically than say a language like English, where where the meaning of the sentence comes from the order of the words, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting to do that. So let's see, we have a little bit before 8. Why don't we take a 3-minute break, and we'll come back and we'll go to Sutter's Mill. Well, actually, I want to look at 100 stems, which is our one half of the secret. Uh, one half the secret, looking at words and word families, and then we'll take a look at Sutter's Mill and then do a little conversation. So is 3 minutes break for you okay?
That's good.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Corgi, time to put you out.
Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the some of the word family, the way that we study words, vocabulary in this course. We we do it throughout the whole course. We have two sources. One is called the 100 important stems, and the other is called the Easy Key to German Vocabulary, which we're going to look at next time. And that gives a lot of etymological connection between German words and English words, and it's fun to look through.
Are these in the book that you recommended?
No, no, these are not.
You're separate.
This
Okay.
is a separate text, which I'll send you all. You get this whole file of probably 20 pages or so, and then but the book that I recommended that I'm supplying an annotated version for is called Easy Key to German Vocabulary. So I supply that at no charge. And then of course the other words we work with are the ones that are in the each of the chapters of the Ionic textbook. So lot of angles on vocabulary. So this is one also um, organized by word family. So achte means to pay attention. So if you try to cross the street, and a policeman is there and he sees traffic coming, he'll say, Achtung, bitte, stop, pay attention. And so beachten is to also pay attention. Sometimes this be is added to here. Fair sometimes gives, as a prefix, sometimes gives the opposite direction to the meaning of the verb. So octa means to esteem, and fair octa means to scorn or despise, just the opposite. So almost like antonyms. And we'll, this, even though you don't, even though you're not required to learn all of these words that have marks to the left, we're really developing vocabulary skills so that you can apply to other words as you encounter them. For example, this ver meaning oftentimes the opposite of the main verb.
Mhm.
Um,
That's great.
yeah, so aus means out of. So our English word aus, out comes from aus, and äußerlich means external, daraus, out from there or out of this. Sich äußern is to make oneself external, i.e. to express oneself. So it's related to that. This is a reflexive pronoun which we haven't seen obviously yet. Let's see. Now this is an interesting word here. Let me just do the get the pen working. So der Ausdruck is a feminine, masculine noun, and drücken means to press. So we're going to put an aus means out of. So it literally means pressing out. So our word expression, for example, means to really to press out. Even though we use expression
Mm.
all the time, we've used it forever, we don't really know
Mhm.
its foundational meaning, which it means to actually press something out on a, as if you had a press of pressing grapes or something like that. So
Mhm.
and then sagen we've noticed is to say, to speak out, which is then an assertion or a statement. Um, and then aussprechen is to speak out, and this is not quite as easy to reach this, but this actually means to pronounce, as you can see. Bleiben is to remain, and then aus, which we know is out of, is to remain out or to stay away. And then außerordentlich, außer means beyond, and we have to hear order. Just like now we always say extraordinary, right? But we don't really know that if you divide this word, extra is the Latin meaning beyond, and literally means beyond the ordinary. So when you learn the German word außerordentlich, then when you start taking these words apart, then you can see how the English words can be taken apart and what their meanings are, especially. That's why I mean your English really becomes sharpened when you learn German. It's not just the German language, but also great benefits for the English as well. Let's see. And I wouldn't really be able to um, explain all this if I hadn't actually spent there years there. I was there for 6 years, speaking nothing but German the whole time and reading and having a great time. I also sang in a Bach choir, Sally, for 2 years, which was very exciting. Um, but anyway, the teaching that I do it actually comes from live experiences as opposed to just someone who has been sitting at a table and reading through a textbook. Okay, so bilden means to form, and we have our English word. What does our English word sound like that is close to that, Sally?
Build.
To build, yeah. So it comes actually from bilden, to form or to constitute. That means our word build comes from the German side. So Bildung, die Bildung, UNG, means education, formation or construction. And das Bild is a picture, uh, meaning a sort of like form something that is formed. And then das Bildnis is the image, and Bildnis Sprache. What is Sprache? Anybody remember that?
Speak.
Sprache means the language. So this means the imagery language, or you could say pictorial language. So again,
Mm.
taking this one word bilden, and you can see how it's sort of reflected or inflected through these different vocabulary words. And if you know the one word, then you can guess. You can have a much greater. You can make a very good educational guess as to what the meaning of the word is as you learn the different parts. Here's a word bitten, which means to request. Sometimes you say a very formal way of asking the butter to be passed to you is you say, "Darf ich die Butter bitten?" May I request the butter? So, but in this case, they will give you the three principal parts of the verb, which we haven't had yet. Bitten, bat, gebeten. And when we learn vocabulary, we'll also learn the three principal parts of these verbs. There are not more than three. Luckily, it doesn't have like six like Greek has. But some verbs come from a different part of these three principal parts. So, Jacob, what part does beten come from? First, second, or third?
Beten.
From bit.
It come from the first part?
Well, it comes from this third part here.
Yeah, third part. I'm sorry. Yeah, third part. Yeah.
Probably what you meant to say. So here you have gebeten, which is the past participle, to have prayed, but beten, to pray, comes from the third principal part. Just an interesting note there. Okay, then let's see. And so there are some different words here that I've noted, and basically we're trying to learn the words that have a mark to the left of them, but we're not required to learn all these words, but again, just to learn word skills. Okay, so let's see. Let's go over to Sutter's Mill. Let's see here.
This is a really good list. I can imagine those 100 words can get you far.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. So
I wish I had seen that before I had to take the test that I kept failing in 1984. Would have really helped me.
Yeah, definitely. I think we got through this first page, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got to the second page or not. Well, let's just, I'll just read. Let me make it a little bit larger. How's that?
Yeah, that'll help.
Is that better?
Yeah, that'll help.
Okay, great.
Definitely.
So I'm just going to read through this, and you can see how you translated last time. Johann August Sutter comes from Kandern in southern Germany in the year 1833. I'm just giving you context because we're going to go on and read some later.
Yeah.
He lives with his wife and 4 children in a small city in Switzerland. The city is called Burgdorf. He is 30 years old and has a shop. He sells clothes, but he does not earn very much money, Geld. One day he has hardly any money more. He must sell his shop, or business, you could say. At that point, he says to his wife and his children, I am poor. I think this is where we stopped here. I am poor and I cannot help you anymore. So, and then I must leave the land. Okay, I want to make it a little bit smaller if it's okay, so you can see the vocabulary underneath. Let's see if this is going to work. That's pretty far down. So I'll just supply the vocabulary. Okay, so okay, there we go. Now he says he must leave the land. This happens to be a modal auxiliary. This is part of the verb complex. Let's see. So this means travel. Sally, you want to pick up a little bit? Everything is in the present tense so far.
I'm going to America.
And he says, Auf Wiedersehen. Well, let's read it aloud first.
Goodbye.
And this means God knows when.
God knows when.
God does know when. You could say that. Okay, let's read some of this together, and then we'll work through the sentences. Packt seine wenigen Sachen. Everybody?
Packt seine wenigen Sachen.
Und fährt nach Paris.
Nach Paris.
That A umlaut makes that a fährt sound. a sharp A.
Fährt.
Dann fährt ans Meer, everybody,
Dann
Dann
fährt er ans Meer
und wartet auf ein Schiff.
und wartet auf ein Schiff.
Okay.
Shift.
So, see, these are the few things here, and Jacob, I'll ask you to translate. And this means he is packing, just very much like English.
Yeah, it's packing.
You want to do those first? That first sentence?
Yeah. He is packing his. What is that again? He's packing his few
things.
things.
And this means he
and,
travels.
And travels to Paris.
Good. And then keep going. This means to the sea, and this means done, just like our English. Then.
Oh. Then. Then. He
travels again.
Here. Oh, he travels. He travels
to
the
sea, or you could say to the coast. Now,
to the coast.
Now notice what I said. That the verb always likes to be in the second position in German. That's one sort of constant. But here you have sort of like an adverb, and whenever you have anything preceding the verb, then you have the reversal of the verb and the subject. So here's your subject.
Right.
And then I would
travels.
Yeah.
That means what?
Just means then. Then he.
Then. Oh, then. Okay.
Yeah. Then he's traveling to the sea.
And this means he is waiting.
And he's waiting. He's waiting
for
ein Schiff.
What does that sound like?
Ticket?
No, Sally?
Ship.
A ship.
Yeah,
a ship.
ship.
Yeah. The ship. It's interesting that our word ship comes from the German side too, and also to wait, warten. Okay, let's read on. Am Meer in Le Havre, everybody.
Am Meer
in Le Havre
stehen Hunderte von Menschen.
Stehen Hunderte von Menschen.
Auch in den anderen Städten am Meer.
Auch in den anderen Städten am Meer
stehen viele Menschen. Besonders in Deutschland.
Besonders in Deutschland.
Okay, so let's go with Sally. This means they are standing, and then this is hundreds of people. Mention is it's a neuter word. I mean, it's a masculine word, but it's neutral turf between male and female, so it means individuals or human beings always, because there is a word for man in German, which is der Mann. Okay. So this means at the sea. Now,
at the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In this place, Le Havre.
Yeah.
Stay. They're. What is Staven? Staying.
They're standing.
Standing.
Hundreds of people.
Good. Okay. Let's. We read this also, and this means also.
Also
in the other cities, and this is the other.
In the other city.
Go ahead,
near
Sally.
the sea, they're standing.
Hundreds.
Many men.
Many people.
Good. From Germany.
Especially in Germany. So that's referring to all the seaports in northern Germany, like Kiel and Bremen, and so Le Havre is in France, as you know. So he's talking about the people that are trying to get over to the United States, who are taking any boat that they can get, desperately trying to make it here. Okay, let's read a couple more sentences, and then we'll go to our nice dialogue. Let's go read together. Sie alle warten auf Schiffe, everybody.
Sie alle warten auf Schiffe.
Das Ziel ist Amerika.
Das Ziel ist Amerika.
Das Land der Freiheit.
Das
Das
Land der
Land
Freiheit.
Das Land des Reichtums
Das
Das
Land
Land des Reichtums
und des Abenteuers.
und des
und des
Abenteuers.
Abenteuers.
Okay, so Jacob, this means they all, and this means like our English, are waiting.
They all are waiting. They are waiting for the ship.
For the ships, plural. Yeah.
For the ship, right?
And this means the
And
goal.
the goal is America.
Mhm.
And the land, the
That's right, the land.
land,
And
the land.
this means freedom, which is frei means,
Oh, the land of freedom.
yeah.
Oh, America, the land of freedom.
supposedly.
Yes,
So
yes.
frei means free, and Frieden means peace. So it's related together. And HEIT is one of those endings of the feminine that
Right.
give you 100% feminine.
Right,
The land
right.
of freedom, and go on, the land of,
And the land of Reichtums.
which is
Right.
richness or
Rich.
of wealth, you could say. And this,
the land of the wealth.
yeah, and the land of,
Land adventure.
right,
Adventures.
good, nicely done, great, okay, very nicely done.
Adventure.
Let's see, well, let's just do one more sentence and then we'll skip over. How's that? And we'll go back to let's see here, erase this. Okay, so yeah, we'll just finish this paragraph. Let's read together. Jede Woche fahren Schiffe, everybody,
Jede Woche fahren Schiffe,
aber fast nicht genug Schiffe
aber fast nicht genug Schiffe
für die vielen Männer, Frauen und Kinder.
für die vielen Männer, Frauen und Kinder.
Okay, so jede means every, and you might be able to figure out this Woche, and then this means to travel or to depart, you could say. Ship. You want to try that first one? Every week, Sally?
Every week.
The ship.
Every week they're traveling by ship.
Well, the ships are traveling, or you could say departing, you could say, in that sense. And remember here you have another adverbial phrase, jede Woche, with the verb in the second position and the subject in the third position. So every week ships are leaving, but practically, and then this means enough. Go ahead.
But they're not. Oh, okay.
But almost not enough. Go ahead, Sally.
Oh, almost not enough for the many men, women, and children.
Exactly. Yeah. Good. All right. Congratulations. Good job, both of you, for translating without knowing any German or very little German these sentences. So let's see. Let's take a look at the. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. Oops. Okay, let's see how far we got here. Do you remember how far we got down? Let's see. Well, let's start right here. Let's read some of this together. You all set? From cassette.
We're still seeing Sutter's Mill.
Right. Okay, thank you.
If you wanted us to be seeing something else.
You want us to read in conversation, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's coming up right here. Okay, can you see it now?
Yep.
Okay.
Guten Tag.
Yeah. Okay, let's read some together. Guten Tag, heißen Sie Braun, everybody?
Guten Tag, heißen Sie Braun?
Nein, ich heiße Schmidt.
Nein, ich heiße Schmidt.
Oh, Verzeihung.
Oh, Verzeihung.
Verzeihung.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Wiedersehen.
If you mean, remember, heißen means I am called, and Verzeihung means I am sorry or I apologize.
Nice.
And then auf Wiedersehen, wieder means again, and you have sehen here to the seeing again, basically.
See you again.
You want to translate those first 4 lines, Sally?
Good day. Are you called
Mr.
Brown?
That's right.
Mr. Is it Mr.?
Well,
Mr. Brown?
you could say Mr. because this is a formal way because it's S-I-E, capital S-I-E. And keep going.
Oh, so are you called Brown? No, I'm called Schmidt. Oh, I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Okay. Let's go on. Ich heiße Peter von Wiese. Everybody?
Ich heiße
Peter von Wiese.
Sprechen Sie Englisch?
Sprechen Sie English?
Ja, ich spreche Englisch.
Ja, ich spreche Englisch.
Going on. Entschuldigen Sie, sprechen Sie English?
Entschuldigen Sie, sprechen Sie English?
This means excuse me. Schuld means guilt, actually. Schuld. Entschuld. Ent is away from guilt. Entschuldigung. Nein, ich spreche kein Englisch.
Nein, ich spreche kein Englisch.
Sind Sie Engländer?
Sind Sie Engländer?
Ja, aber ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch.
Ja, aber ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch.
Okay, so let's see here. Trying to do this. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, I'm called Peter from Visa. Do you speak English? Yes, I speak English. Let's see. Jacob, you want to go on from here?
Yeah. Excuse me. Do you speak English? Name.
Means no.
No, I don't speak much English.
I don't speak any English. With kind means no.
Any.
You're right.
Oh,
kind does mean no. Go on.
Okay. Since the Englander, are you from England?
Exactly. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, but I speak
Just a little.
A little German.
Good. Keep going.
Yes, I am I'm from England.
Yeah, and is it male or female? With I-N.
Oh, he's male, right?
It's female with I-N. So,
female,
but your translation is correct. Yes, I am from England is what you would say. Hold on a second.
Oh, the ERN is a female ending?
Well, just the IN ending. Whenever you have IN,
IN.
is an indication of a female profession of one
Female.
kind or another. Okay, let's see. Ich bin Engländerin, sprechen Sie Deutsch? Let's go on from here. Jacob, go on. Wie geht es Ihnen means how do you do? Literally, how does it go to you? Go ahead, try that.
How does it go? Good. Danke. And good. Good. Okay, what does that mean? Good.
Hold
what?
A second. I just lost the thing. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I think you went back to Sutter's.
Hold on a second here.
Sutter's really wants center stage tonight.
Yeah, that's right. You know, let's see. I just actually lost it. I'll have to come back and pick it up. But it's 8:30 right now. So let's see. Let's go back to the webcam. Let's see here. Okay. So anyway, that was a good session. You all. I hope you had a good time in going through some German and picking up a little thing and seeing a couple of how German works a bit in that in that small paragraph about J.S. Bach, and
Yeah.
also about Sutter. He actually left in 1834. He actually got on a boat in 1834, as the next paragraph indicates, and he's the one that
Mm,
came to New York. He lived in New York for about 5 or 6 years, earned as much money as he could, was still very poor, but then went out to California and then founded Sutter's Mill, in fact, and turned into this huge
mm.
millionaire, and the rest is sort of history. But anyway, any feelings about tonight? Anything that you felt especially, um, Sally, and then Jacob?
Well, as I said before, I think that list of 100 vocabulary and the words that are related to each other is super helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you prepare for the test that you took earlier, much earlier?
Oh, well, I didn't have any German in high school. I had 1 year of Spanish and hated it. So then, years later, I go to grad school to do MA PhD program in English. You have to do 2 foreign languages. Hence, I could not do any. So I lived on the German corridor in my dorm. I was an RA, and they put me on the German corridor even though I did not speak German. And the point was everybody would speak German all the time on the floor.
Yeah.
So they didn't, but I learned a little bit of German from them, and they all talked about traveling there. And then here I am in grad school, and I thought, well, I'll try to learn German because I always wanted to learn German. And I took a semester course, but it was my first semester of grad school. So I think I probably made it through September, October, part of November, and then I just didn't go because I was auditing it, and it was getting too hard. And so then I had to take like an SAT type exam, and I had to get like a 350, and I kept getting like 330, 335. I took it like 5 times.
Wow.
I couldn't do it.
But did you finish the PhD in English literature?
No.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I had to drop out because I couldn't do a foreign language. And then I became a physical therapist years later after teaching English for like 12, 15 years.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And they're giving me my master's degree now because they no longer require a language. So 40 years later,
Wow.
I'm getting my master's degree. But if I want to continue on in the PhD, which I'm not sure I want to do, I have to do a language. And so that's why I'm doing German now, 40 years later.
Great.
But in the meantime, I traveled abroad for 2 years training horses and traveling. So I spent a lot of time really in France, Holland, Switzerland, Denmark, and Germany. I didn't spend as much time in Germany. All the people in Holland kept saying, don't go to Germany, don't go to Germany. So I'd go for like a week and come back.
What part of Holland were you living in?
I spent a little time in a town called Enschede. Didn't like it there. And then I went up on the North Sea and helped a woman train her horse.
Wow.
But, I spent like a month and a half or 2 months in Stuttgart. I wanted to go to the Steiff animal factory there. They make stuffed animals with a little button in their ear, Knopften ear. I wanted to go there, but you can't go to the Steiff factory. So I just stayed with this woman and helped her train her horse. And she had a horse that was retired that someone had given her. And I was a very good rider. So I took the horse down to the manege there where they ride them. And I rode the horse, and the horse was doing all these high-level dressage maneuvers. And the lady started crying because she mostly spoke Spanish and a little German. And I knew a little Dutch, almost no German and English, but her horse understood me perfectly because the horse riding language is the same no matter where you go, although we're changing it now. And so it was like this amazing moment.
Wow.
And she played all these jokes on me. She had a goat named Liesel, and goats have this like love-hate thing with me. Liesel would plot for days how to butt me and knock me over in the barnyard, and they would send me out to feed the horses and assure me she was locked up, and then she'd come tearing around the barn, and she was huge. She was like 3 feet high at least, and knock me over.
Wow. So if you when you get through this course, then you would have the option of continuing in that. What was your particular area of interest in English literature?
I did a lot of early American work
Mhm.
before.
Yep.
If I continue on now, my dissertation would be on something in this new field called animal studies. But one of the people that primarily began that field is some of the writing by Konrad Lorenz. So it'd be really interesting to me to read that in German.
Mhm.
And just because part of what he's done is look at animals more sympathetically than we do in America.
Interesting.
And so I'd like to read some of his writing in German to see if there's a different tone.
Mhm.
But, you know, I can't really ever read anything in German, really. So,
Well, if you take this
but I think I could.
if you take this course, you'll be in a good position to read, I mean, at an intermediate level, basically to go into a second year college German course. But you could read any text by the end of this course if you keep up with the pace of the course and work through it.
Well, I don't know if I could keep up to the pace of the course. And then I don't know, you know, I'm old, so I don't know if I want to bother to get a PhD because I can't get a job. I'm not going to make any more money than I make now. And, you know, I can't do anything that I can't do with a master's degree.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. But I mean, out of interest and out of the interest in the language and its correspondence to English is quite interesting too, as we've mentioned here. So Jacob, and you're set in the first year PhD. You've probably explained that
Yeah.
to Sally, but you just want to say a word or two about where you are in that program in your first semester?
Yeah.
what are you studying?
I'm studying theology, and
Oh,
so it requires three foreign languages.
oh my
And
God.
yeah, one ancient. I'm learning. I'm going to learn Latin, and two modern. So for now, I'm learning German, and next summer I will learn French.
I see.
So
Great.
Oh, that's so fun. Oh my God. Well, I will not study theology because I could not do foreign language. When I became a physical therapist, I did not go to the University of Connecticut because they are requiring a
oh
foreign language. I was like,
oh,
go to a school with no language.
but I admire your persistence.
Yeah, definitely.
No,
Sally.
I
Yeah.
like German and I like French, and I'm kind of mad now that I was so misguided in high school. My mom had taken French. Why didn't she just say to me, take French?
Yeah.
I can do French. I spent a long time in Paris. I could order, I could walk around. You know, the thing about French is that you say things that sound French and people sort of understand you. Or maybe they don't, but they still figure out what you want. So,
Yeah, great. Well, that was really a great session tonight. So
Yeah.
let's,
Yeah.
we're a little bit over time. So I
Okay.
invite you
Thank
to
you.
come back next Wednesday. And we might have some other people joining us, but we'll just go on to another topic, probably cover chapter 3 and looking more into the inflection of the definite article there, and sort of
Great.
go in the method that we've been going tonight, just skipping around the grammar and taking a look at some of the features of the language itself and doing some vocabulary study. So anyway,
Yeah.
thanks so much for joining us, Jacob
You're
and
on.
Sally.
thank
It
you.
was really fun.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.